Welcome to Risk Related by Granite. This is the podcast where we bring you vital knowledge and insights directly from Granite's own risk management experts. Today, we're diving into organizational resilience. It's really that essential capability you need today to navigate, constant disruption.
It's definitely a critical topic. If you look around, pandemics, supply chain chaos, cyber threats just keep escalating, geopolitical stuff. The old way, just trying to avoid risks. It's just not cutting it anymore.
Right. It feels like you're always reacting otherwise.
Exactly. And one of Granite's experts summed it up really well. He said, resilience isn't about getting back to how things were. It's more about adapting to how things are, building that ability to evolve with the disruption. That's quite a shift from just disaster recovery.
Adapting to it, not just recovering from it. So it's less about patching things up and more about becoming more fluid.
Precisely. And crises aren't exceptions anymore. They're sort of a constant feature now. So resilience becomes this very practical necessity for you, not some far-off ideal.
And not just for the huge global things we read about.
No, definitely not. It's just as vital for, say, a major cyber attack hitting your own system or a key supplier failing. It applies across the board.
Okay, so if it's that crucial, what are the actual building blocks? How do you start building that operational recovery capability?
Well, the foundation is really understanding your own operations, what's absolutely critical. That usually starts with a business impact analysis, a BIA, that helps you identify those must-run processes. Then comes continuity planning, and crucially, testing those plans, rehearsing them.
Practice makes perfect, even in crisis planning.
Sort of, yeah. But there's a huge piece often missed, the human element. Your people, they're the ones actually doing things in a crisis. So things like psychological safety, trust, giving people the freedom to act, these are absolutely key. You can have the best plan, but if people don't feel safe or empowered,
it falls apart under pressure. Makes sense. Technology helps, but people deliver.
Exactly.
So practically speaking then, how does an organization start moving towards this?
Yeah.
Especially if they're used to older models. What tools does Granite offer?
It reminds me of that Eisenhower quote, plans are nothing, planning is everything.
Mm-hmm.
The act of planning, the process, that's what builds the readiness in your team, that mental preparation.
Ah, okay. So it's the journey, not just the destination map.
Yes, absolutely. And at Granite, we've developed tools specifically for this. Things like sector-specific asset catalogs to know what you have, tools for continuity planning itself, and really importantly, tools for running scenario exercises. They help you map out recovery steps, assign roles, figure out communication.
For specific scenarios like
a denial of service attack maybe, or a major IT system failure. What do you do? Who does what? How do you tell everyone? These tools bring structure, scalability to something that can feel pretty overwhelming.
Right. Taking it from abstract worry to concrete steps. How do things like continuity planning and those scenario exercises really strengthen resilience then? What difference do they make?
They really sharpen the focus, hugely. They force you to identify likely risks, yes, but also the impacts, and then you prepare. But often, the biggest value is uncovering the gaps before something happens.
Like finding weak spots you didn't know you had.
Exactly. Granite shared a great file example once. A client had this detailed IT recovery plan, brilliant on paper, but the plan relied on accessing a specific data center. Turned out, the only person with the key was on holiday. Nobody knew where the spare was.
Oh, wow. The locked door problem. Seems small, but...
But it can completely derail everything. Scenario planning brings those kinds of practical, sometimes mundane, but critical details to light. And rehearsing how you'd recover, how you'd communicate it, builds real confidence. So even if the actual crisis isn't exactly what you practiced, your team is better prepared to handle the unexpected.
That makes a lot of sense. It's building the capacity to respond, not just a single response plan. So it sounds like this needs to be more than just plans and drills. How does it become part of the culture?
That's the ultimate goal, really. Cultural resilience, it goes way beyond the plans. It's about the organization's values, how people work together every day, team cohesion. It means, open communication is normal, leadership is strong and visible, there's genuine care for people. And crucially, nobody gets thrown under the bus when the pressure is on. It's about everyone pulling together.
Fostering an environment where people feel safe to act and support each other, even under stress.
Exactly. That's when resilience is truly embedded.
Okay, so let's try and pull the key threads together for you listening. What we're hearing is crises are pretty much constant now. Building that recovery capability relies on good planning, yes, but also practice and, critically, psychological safety for your people.
Mm-hmm.
Continuity planning and scenario analysis are vital tools for finding those gaps, the locked doors. And while tech is an enabler, it's your people who actually deliver the resilience. And tying it all together is that organizational culture. Trust, openness. Don't try and outsource this.
Couldn't have said it better. The message from Granite's experts is really clear on this. Readiness isn't a one-off task or a binder on a shelf. It's an ongoing capability. You build it through continuous planning, practice, and keeping that human element front and center. A resilient organization doesn't just, survive a crisis. It actually uses it as an opportunity to learn, adapt, and become stronger. Think about that, not just getting through it, but getting better because of it.
So that's all for today. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, everyone.
And we'll see you next time.
See you later.